Hi everybody, this is Jurek and welcome back to Real Estate Investing Adventures. Why? Because real estate is fun and it's always an adventure. If you're a returning guest, welcome back. If you're new to my video series, welcome. Who the heck am I? My name is Jurek. I'm a real estate investor. I have the ability to travel all over the country and work with people. I help them get started with real estate investing or take their real estate to the next level. So thank you for joining me with this A through Z series. A lot of people out there have asked me, Joe, what is everything involved with trying to do a deal, and can you help me out from A through Z? So that's why I've started the A through Z series. We've covered a number of letters so far, and today, what are we going to cover? The letter E. Yes, E. Now with E, one of the most important E's is going to be earnest money. When we covered C's, we talked about contingencies, a way to get out of a contract. And when we get out of the contract, we would probably want to get our earnest money back. A good contingency would allow you to get your earnest money back. Now, what is earnest money? Anytime you make an offer, you're going to have to put up earnest money with your offer, and it's kind of like a good faith amount that you're putting up. It's also known as binder money. So when we put up that earnest money, it's going to bind the contract between us, the buyer, and the seller. Anytime you have earnest money, here's a big tip, don't forget, okay, never ever give that earnest money directly to the seller. So if you're dealing with a for sale by owner, you don't want to give the earnest money to the for sale by owner, because in the event you got to get out of the contract, you're never going to get that earnest money back. Now, how it works when we make an offer and we put up earnest money, we may have that 10-day contingency. And if we need to back out of the contract during that 10-day period, and we have a good contingency, we should get that earnest money returned back to us. If we back out after that point, we lose the earnest money. So they're never going to make you buy the property if you can't move forward with it or do with it what you think. Maybe you're looking at it from a point of view of wholesaling, where you want to tie up a property and then actually sell the contract. Maybe you can't find a buyer that wants the contract, so you have to back out. That's where we're going to exercise our contingency and get our earnest money returned back to us. Now, what are common amounts of earnest money? Often it's at the seller's request. They can ask for $500, they could ask for $1,000, they could ask for $10,000, they could ask for whatever they want. But what's usually normal and customary? Usually around $1,000 is normal and customary, although in some areas they may ask for 1% of your offer price. So it's always negotiable, but here's the unfortunate thing. If you don't give the seller the amount of earnest money they request or put up that amount, they may not accept your offer. And like we had said, you're never giving it directly to the seller, like in a for sale by owner. If we have an attorney that might be handling the transaction, they can kind of be the escrow agent and hold that money as an independent third party for this transaction. Title company could be also an escrow agent, another E, right? They can hold the money. If you're going through a realtor and the realtor works for a broker, the broker may have a brokerage account that's an escrow account where they're holding it as an independent third party. That way, if the transaction does not go through, based on the agreement and based on the amount of time, we'll determine who gets the earnest deposit. If it's during the period that we negotiated for the contingency and we get out and have a good contingency, we get that earnest deposit back. If it's after that time frame, we forfeit it and the seller keeps it. So here's an example. Say it's the first of the month, we have a 10-day contingency. We have to get out of it prior to the 11th, and today is the 9th, and we determine we need to get out of the contract, and we have a good contingency, we can get out. But say it's the 15th, and we miss the 11th. Guess what? There goes that earnest money, like out the window. So when we look at it, and you look at any real estate transaction, you want to know anytime you make an offer, you're going to put up earnest money, and it's going to be held in escrow. like we said, never give it directly to the seller. Now, in some cases, some of you out there are working on properties that might be off market or unlisted. You're dealing with for sale by owners. I've had for sale by owners say, just put up $100. I've had that happen in the past. But we may be working on certain deals where people are in pre-foreclosure and they just want out of their property. They just want out. In that case, could we put up $1 or put up $10? Absolutely you can. And I would probably recommend it. At that point, I wouldn't lose sleep over giving somebody $1 or giving somebody $10. And why is that? Because in the event something doesn't go the way we think, we need to get out of the contract, at least it's a lot easier losing $10 than losing $1,000. So as you make any offers, you always have to provide consideration. In most cases, what is that consideration? It's money in the form of a money, and they call it an earnest deposit that you would be putting up. Now, as we look at the E's, there were so many E's that I could talk about. I had to narrow down my list. And we've discussed earnest deposit, escrow. The other huge E, so thank you for staying with me, but the other huge E is estate or estate sale. Often when we're looking for deals, we're trying to find motivated sellers, and one of the most motivated sellers could be an heir that inherits an estate sale. What exactly is an estate sale? Somebody may pass away and they leave their property to an heir who inherits the property. That heir may keep the property or sell the property, but in most cases, if nothing is owed on the property, they can take whatever they want. And that's the thing that most people don't realize. When we're making offers, some people are in a position where they can't take less. They owe too much on it. They got to get out of the property what they're pretty much asking or close to it. Other people, maybe they don't owe anything on the property. They don't like your offer. They're just unwilling to take the offer, not physically unable to take the offer. So the nice thing about estate sale, sometimes it's people that are local, people out of state, but if nothing or very little is owed on the home, in most cases, they may want to go ahead and accept the offer. So one of the best potential deals you can find out there are estate sales. And I would recommend that you watch some of my other videos that I go into. I go into great detail talking about estate sales. I just have to tell you a quick story about one such estate sale. I had called on this condominium a few years back, and the condominium was in an area that I was very familiar with. It was probably worth over $100,000, and I just saw it got listed, and it popped up on a listing that it was for sale for $69,900. And I thought, wow, there's got to be something wrong with this. And it didn't really say in the description. So I called the realtor, and I called the listing agent, and I said, I saw your listing. She goes, oh yeah, I just put that out like about, less than an hour ago. How can I help you? And I said, the price seems okay. I was just wondering, is there anything you can tell me about the property? And the realtor said somebody had owned it. They passed away. Their friend was handling their estate, and they just wanted to liquidate it to pay the bills. And they almost just wanted it sold quick so they could take care of everything and close it out. I thought, cha-ching, is that a motivated seller? Absolutely. And I put an offer in on the property. I can tell you another golden nugget. I basically had said to the realtor, $69,900, is that maybe the best, or do you think there's some flexibility? What can they do? And I said, would they be open to maybe $65,000? She goes, yeah, they probably wouldn't take anything less than that. So I said, let's write up for $65,000. So $4,900, just like that. We wrote it up. I got the acceptance. I locked up that deal. And here it was, a very nice condo. I locked it up at a great price. And part of the thing was, when I saw it, I acted on it. But what made it such a good deal, in my opinion, it was an estate sale. Somebody was motivated. They just wanted to get it sold. And I was there willing to buy it, willing to get it closed. And I even closed, I think it was less than 30 days. So as you're doing this, I want you to keep in mind, you're going to be looking for deals. Estate sales are something you should look for. Anytime you make an offer, okay, you're putting up earnest money to bind that contract. It's usually going to be held in escrow. You're not giving it directly, remember, right to the actual seller. So continue to watch. I hope you've enjoyed the other letters up to this point. I got a lot more coming. When you put it all together, it should give you A through Z. So go out there, make your dreams a reality, live life in the moment with no regrets. Take care, believe and achieve. Bye-bye.